Take two. What's going on YouTube? It's Bella and Jay back again with another video. Before we get into it, make sure you like, comment, and subscribe. And don't forget to hit that bell for post notifications. That way the next time we drop that next content, you'll be the first to get it. Without further ado.
Today's topic is about waiting until you get married versus the 90-day rule, or does it even really matter? And the reason why we want to talk about this today, because it's kind of near and dear to our heart, because we're coaching somebody who just recently got out of divorce and they're getting back on the dating scene, and they're, kind of needing coaching on how to take those steps to getting back out there. One of the questions that she had was about the 90-day rule. In my opinion, I feel like you should wait until you're married. What do you think?
I defer from that method, but I respect everyone's opinion.
I think it does matter. The reason why I don't necessarily agree with the 90-day rule is because, you could date somebody for 90 days and still not really know everything you need to know about them to give them your benefits or your goods or your cookie or your flower or whatever it is to you. Your yoni, you know what I mean? Like
all that good stuff.
Whatever you want to call it. However, say you wait 90 days. Say, they play their role. Everything's going good. And this could be a man or a woman or a man. It doesn't really have to be gender of the person. However, say 90 days come, y'all have sex, and now they gone. They didn't wait. Y'all not still dating. Everything is still not good. And the reason why I don't agree with it, because I don't want to just add another person under my belt for somebody that I'm not even with, that wasn't even worth my yoni in the beginning. You see what I'm saying? So I feel like waiting until I'm married, if a person waits all the way until you married to get it, and then they decide to leave, that's just ludicrous. Unless they just marry you within a couple of months just to get it. But they're still just like kind of over the top, you know what I mean?
It's crazy. Sure.
But people do wait all the time for 90 days. 90 days really isn't that long, especially if they smashing somebody else anyway.
9 times out of 10, if he's waiting for the 90-day rule, but if he's been honest and told you he's never done it before, he's probably smashing an ex or smashing somebody else. Not to say that it always is the case, but if he's used to getting buns on a consistent basis, you gotta ask yourself, what is it that you're offering to this man besides your benefits, right? That's gonna hold him down, keep his attention focused on you, and make him not want to dibble and dabble off in these streets, right?
Right.
So
what if they wait 90 days and the sex isn't good? In 90 days and the sex is trash, there's open door for not even trying.
I just have a breakdown about the fact of the physical act of sex versus involving intimacy and emotion behind it. So when you take away the factor of the intimacy and the emotion behind it, ultimately that adds more je ne sais quoi, all of that great stuff into it. It adds that extra little kick to it. It makes it a lot more interesting, intriguing, and intimate and endearing, and a lot of those different, deep thoughts that you want to, that you actually want to aspire to have from your partner, right? But ultimately, when you just stick to the tangible physical portion of the sex, the way a person might be hitting that spot, what I'm saying? Just that and forth, and all of that good stuff. If they're not doing it, say for instance, it's a female talking, right? So dude smash after the 3rd date or whatever, which in a month, say within a month time frame, they smash, and she's like, dang, he was trash. Old Terrence back here, you know what I'm saying? He was smashing it a lot better than, this new dude was.
Right, but if you wait until you're married, you won't have anybody to compare it to. Like if you stay a virgin, I know it's not a lot of us out here that's, still a virgin. I'm just saying, that's why it says in the Bible, that you should wait until you're married. Who do you have them to compare it to? You're not looking for that same feeling from somebody else that you're trying to,
that same thrill.
Compare them with.
It's kind of like if you were ever a drug user or an alcoholic and you got that first buzz for the first time or that first high for the first time, and then after that you're chasing that first high, you know what I mean? So, you know, if that person that you had sex with when you was 23 and that person was blowing your mind, doing all these crazy things, and you know, just had you bite your lip every time you saw them and stuff like that, right?
Yeah.
And then this new person is what you would consider a lame, killing that person's ego, that person's pride, and that person's motivation, you know, because I mean, if you're complaining about it, it's kind of clear that you're comparing it to something that you've already experienced.
But look at it like this. Okay, so say you wait until you get married, right? That person waits on you. Y'all get to know each other on a more intimate level that doesn't, you know, necessarily have something to do with sex. Y'all are getting to know different aspects of life. You seeing them on a different ramification versus if you having sex with them. Sometimes sex can just like discombobulate things, where a person isn't really for you, or it's so many red flags because you had sex. Sometimes that sex can keep you bound in the relationship when really sometimes the sex might not be out. The sex might be smacking, I mean, like really good, and that's the only thing that's really going for the relationship. The relationship is trash, but the sex is good, so you're staying in a relationship based on the chemistry with sex. It's no real thrill or chemistry on any other level but with sex. So sometimes we stay in these relationships. So if you take away sex, right, and you in a relationship with somebody and you getting to know them on a different level and you getting to know so many things about them, you won't be so quick to stay in a relationship if you see all these red flags and see things that you don't like because you haven't even had sex with them. You know what I'm saying? It's not keeping you kind of bound in a relationship with somebody that isn't fulfilling you in other areas. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah. I mean, within those 90, do you really honestly believe that you can grow to know someone within a 90-day period in all aspects? Like entering into a relationship, right? Most people don't have those.
They don't.
So here's where the hang up is. The hang up lies in you as a male or you as a female starting the 90-day rule. I'm not gonna have sex until 90 days.
And you don't have to tell them. I don't mean to cut you off. I'm just saying, like, if you decide to do this, you don't have to tell them that you want to wait for 90 days. You can finish. I'm sorry.
So a male or female that does a 90-day rule, right? And you say to yourself, I'm not going to be physically intimate with this person until after this point, right? Once you establish that in your mind and you say that you're going to follow that guideline, what are the actions that you're taking within those 90 days? What questions are you asking? What are you growing to learn about this person?
Right.
What are you growing to learn about their families? What are you growing to learn about how they've been raised?
Right.
And there's so many different things that you can like tap into to find out if this person is your match or not. But majority of the relationships in the world, what they tend to do is they tend to not ask these questions because some people think, oh, this is a little bit too personal. I just met you 90 days. I don't know you.
Right, really.
I don't know you from a can of paint, so why would I tell you my most intimate secrets?
Right.
Or why would I break down certain things about me if I'm just getting to know you? Yeah, I find you attractive.
Right.
Yeah, I think that you're super cool because we went to this kickback and you was just chilling and you know some people that I know, but do I really know you?
But okay, so sometimes I don't know. I guess sometimes you can meet somebody and y'all can have that great chemistry where you can feel like you've been knowing this person for your whole entire life. And you can open up to this person more than you can open up to anybody that you ever dated, right? Because it's just that chemistry, it's just that bond, it's just that tie that you feel so connected to this person. And it could be within 2 weeks, to 3 weeks to 90 days, who knows? Everybody's different. So it's
it could be because y'all known each other in a previous life, if you believe in
right.
that type of stuff.
You know what I'm saying? So also I just feel like it's all about what you're comfortable with. But also I just feel like you gotta have self-worth. Like I feel like I'm worthy for whoever I'm dating. You know what I'm saying? Like when I'm single, but when I really just get back out there on the dating scene, I just feel like whoever I decide to date, I feel like I know who I am as a person. I know my worth. So I know that I'm worth being waited for until I get married. And whoever can respect that, you know, there's a door. Like I'm not going to lower my standards or my boundaries. It is what it is. I know what I bring to the table. I know what I have to offer. And I know my yoni is not going to be trash whenever it goes to the level. So I'm the type of person, I like to learn from experience. Like when I have lessons, or things that happen, and I see that, hey, this didn't work for me, I want to try something different. So this is the type of person I am. I haven't always been the person that says, oh, I wanted to wait until I'm married, right?
You haven't always been that.
No, I mean, you know, I've been married before, right? So the person that I was married to, we didn't wait until I was married.
Okay.
Right, so.
I didn't know that. That's cool though. You made that change.
Exactly, because.
I like that. Damn, wrong hand.
We had sex within 8 months, right? Like, he said he was gonna wait on me. And he. What?
8 months?
Anyway, he said he was gonna wait on me, right? But, you know, and we did end up getting married. But I didn't know that during the time, he was cheating on me the whole time while he was waiting for the 8 months. So,
yeah,
like,
don't say.
Why does it even really matter that I waited 8 months? You know what I'm saying? Like, and one day while we was having an argument, I'm not gonna say argument, a discussion, it was revealed, you know, we were already married and stuff then, so I guess it didn't really.
Yeah, he was out here dipping and dodging all up in some other stuff, huh?
Yeah, while he was supposed to be waiting, he played his cards right. I didn't know, you know, he was there, you know, available for, you know, my needs, taking me on dates, doing all the right stuff, right?
When you found out, what happened? Like,
we were already married.
So, what did you decide to do?
Stay married to him, cause like it happened before we were married. So what?
So you was like, all right, as long as you don't do this shit while we married, huh?
But you know they say once a cheater, always a cheater. Red flag.
You was like, don't do that no more, huh?
But you know, like I was only 21, so you know, I mean, I guess I didn't really pay attention to red flags. I know what red flags were, what they really look like. Like I wasn't, you know, on that. So now that I'm older, I do pay attention to that type of thing.
Are you on the roll right now, as far as what you're talking about? Because I got a question I want to ask.
Yeah. So I do pay attention to those type of things. So the fact that I tried that and waited for 8 months and it didn't work, because during that time, that now when I'm dating, they have to wait until we're married. I'm not going to just be giving my benefits or my goods to anybody, people who don't even deserve it. I'm not finna be out here just giving away, because sometimes you have to realize people have spirits. People carry different spirits, and you out here and you having sex with all these different people, and you get these spirits, you know, caught on you, and you wonder why you feeling a certain way, why you moving a certain way, why you can't get up, why you not moving to the same beat, or why you stuck in this relationship and this person is not who you need to be with. Because sometimes it's sex, magic, spells, and all different type of things that comes with a person, and y'all being affectionate or having sex, shall we say. So that's why I want to keep all my goods to myself. I need to know that you're the right person for me. I need to know that you have the full total package, and I'm not sitting here acting like I'm better than the next. But what I am going to do is act like I need to be who I need to be for me, you know, what's comfortable for me. A person has to show themselves worthy to be with me and lay down with me. So I feel like as women, that's how we have to treat ourselves. Our body is supposed to be a temple. As a woman that's led by God, it's in the Bible, we're supposed to wait until we're married. Therefore, I have to lead by example too. I'm raising daughters, so they know that I'm no longer with their father. So if they see me dating out here, I don't want them to think that I'm having sex with somebody else or putting myself out there like that. But I'm telling them not to have sex. I'm telling them to be careful, like, you know, you need to wait till you get married. But then they see me moving different. How can I tell them to do these things when I'm not even doing it? That's just like, I want to be a person that, you know, I want to preach what I teach what I preach. No. I want to do what I say. I'm trying to find words of what I'm trying to say. You get what I'm saying?
Like, what I say, not as I do.
No. Like, if I'm preaching this, I want to.
You don't want them to follow that. You don't want to be the type of person that says, do as I say, not as I do.
Right, I already said that.
Yes.
But I just said something about preaching, teaching, but no, that's not what I meant.
Practice what you preach?
Yeah. That's what it is. You're so smart. I want to practice what I preach. I want to say, I want to practice what I preach. So if I'm telling my kids or the young girls out here, talking to the ladies, and I'm saying, hey, you know, we should wait until we're married, we better than that. We don't have to be out here meeting a guy and sleeping with them for the first night. That we should care about benefits. We should care about, you know, STDs. We should care about sex, magic, and spells, and all these other things that people put on you. You know, like, we should care. We should care about us, and men too. Like, we shouldn't make people wait for us. So whether it's the 90 days, whether it's until you get married, whether it's 12 months or 8 months, I know somebody now, they were, you know, just telling me, somebody that I had coached, they was telling me that, you want to talk to me, say anything? Go.
You on a roll? Go ahead.
Go. Cause I got my notes. I'm gonna go back. I got a lot of stuff to talk about. You know, I'm gonna go back.
So here's my thing. Who deemed it that the yoni or the meat stick, you know, the Arby's restaurant, you know, because we have the meats.
Arby's, we have the meats.
So, you know, all my guys, we understand that quote, you know. Who deemed those two things the most valuable asset or benefit that you can offer to a relationship is the question that I have. Comment down below who actually deemed that to be the biggest prize or the biggest gift that you could give to another person. To me, I believe that there's so much more to you as a person that you probably should keep away from that other person that you're dating until you grow to know who that person is.
What is that?
So yes, your yoni or your meats are very high value, but at the same token, that's not the most important thing that you can give to that person. Most important thing that you can give to that person is access to yourself, who you are, how you was raised, how you were brought up, how spiritual you are. Sharing that side of you, because that could be scary as well. Sharing your heart with somebody else. Opening up, breaking that wall down, allowing that trust barrier to be a double-sided door. So there's a lot of things that, you know, people can process in their mind relationship-wise and choose to give that person the access to, right? Ultimately, me taking myself and also having friends that I've seen, you know, along my journey in life, I've seen lots of friends, and I've gone through it myself, allowed a person access to me before the physical intimacy, right? I allowed a person access to me, and they took that opportunity and ran with it and took that information and hurt my heart. Did some things they shouldn't have done, said some things that they shouldn't have said, all because it was out of anger, out of spite. You know, being petty, will you?
But one thing about it is, how can, if you don't give a person access to you in a certain type of way, how can they really get to know you or really get to know who you are? One thing about it, and I understand what you're saying, you have a valid point there, you know, a point that I probably didn't even think of, but now that you're putting it out there, also what I feel is, okay, so you can give a person access to you and they can hurt you, right? You're right, you're absolutely right, but also, however with a comma, you can heal from those things, you know what I'm saying? Like, you can woosah yourself back to reality, right? So you can take that back from them if you gain power over the things that they might have took from you as far as that. But when you give away that benefit, that's something that you can't give back. You can't get back. You will never be able to get that person back and say, oh, that's a person that I really didn't have sex with.
You can't unscrew nobody, huh?
Right.
You can't unscrew them once they've been screwed.
So that's another person that's added. So, okay, so this is the thing. Everybody's saying,
as a male, you can wash her juices off, but for her, she can't be unpenetrated. You know what I'm talking about?
And he can't unpenetrate whoever it is.
You can't unpenetrate whoever you penetrated.
Right.
So.
But for what I'm trying to say, and what I mean is, it's just like, you know me. Like, okay, so for instance, if I would have never had sex within 8 months with this person, eventually they would have fell out because they were just with me trying to wait.
Trying to get them cookies.
For the 8 months, however long it took.
He was the cookie monster.
Because they were still doing whatever they were doing on the side. So, of course, they were just trying to get it, right? But what happened was, in the midst of them trying to get it, when they got it, they got discombobulated, like they got bamboozled. You know what I'm saying? So, that's why they married. Because they got bamboozled. They didn't know that the yoni was going to be what it was. So, then they, oh, will you marry me real quick? But they thought that they was just going to get it and be like, gone. That's what they thought was going to happen. But that was the one who got bamboozled. Sorry, I just had to say that. So that can happen. You see what I'm saying? So that's why you shouldn't be having sex with her, because hey, if I would have never had sex, I feel like the person would have fell off eventually anyway. Because they
wouldn't have knew what the yoni possessed. That's what you're trying to say.
I feel like that would have fell off anyway. You know what I'm saying? Because they were in it just for a game. So if I would have continued to make them wait, or they would have had to marry me first. You know,
like, nah, I'm good.
That would have been one less person I would have had to have under my belt and under my marriage belt. Make sense? So let me tell you something. from experience, you know. One of the people that I was coaching, they had sex with somebody that they met. They had only been talking for like a week, and they had sex, right? And they felt like the sex was so good, they wanted to marry this woman. Like, this was a guy, he came in, he was talking about it because he was heartbroken about what happened. So he was ready, and I felt like he was telling me she was doing all these great stuff, like sexually, like stuff that he had never experienced, you know, like, I'm not even gonna go into that business. Like, I'm not even gonna go into all the things that was told to me. But however, you know, like, and this was a gentleman, this was the type of dude that was opening car doors, pulling out your chair, you know, just old school love, you know. So the girl wasn't necessarily ready for him. He knew within 3 months that he wanted to marry her. He knew within a short period of time, this was my wife, this is who I wanted to be with, based on certain things that he felt like that he liked it about her. Or maybe he was just bamboozled, you see what I'm saying? However, he found out that she was cheating and she was doing all these other different things. So in the midst of that time, he knew that he didn't want to be with her anymore. So she knew that he was a great guy. So she just wanted to take him and put him on a shelf until she was ready, because at that moment she wasn't ready to commit, so she was still in the streets. But she got caught up. However, when he woke up, he thought the sex was good, but when he woke up and figured out like she was doing all this other stuff, he was like, the sex was trash. He was like, I don't know why I thought it was good or why I was trying to stay in it, because it was dry, it was this and it was that. And you know, sometimes people get mad, they say all these things. So all I'm saying is, had they not had sex within the first week, maybe in 3 months, he would have thought that was his wife. Maybe if he would have waited longer to really get to know her and who she was, he would have seen those red flags that she was contributing to the relationship, that she wasn't the right one. Maybe if he would have set boundaries, maybe if he had a list of standards of what he required in a relationship and the things that she was doing and those requirements that she wasn't meeting, he would have knew before he even had sex with her that she wasn't the one and she wasn't wife material. What you think?
Had he to look deeper than just the sex, he would have realized who she was. And then that would have eliminated the problem altogether. Then he could have just said, you know what, if he's a single man out here and he's not as spiritual as he says he is, right?
But he could
he's smashing, he's smashing. Some people can sit here and lie to you all day long and tell you that they're spiritual and that they, you know, walking that path, right? But then once an opportunity presents itself, they still dabble over here and go get them some cookies.
So you think if you spiritual and you having sex that you not, like, I'm just
not necessarily saying that, but some people say that they're in that truth, or, you know, awake on that level and really are on that level and not understand, like, not really processing the book of Genesis when they're reading it properly. You know what I'm saying? Understanding the value through consummation as it pertains to marriage, according to the scripture. So, you know, some people are just living out here, not a spiritual life, but a religious life.
Right.
So they go to church, they listen to pastor, whoever, you know, preach to them and keep breathing hard and sweating and come up to the altar and pray and kneel down and, oh yeah, I was at the club busting it wide open, you know, on Friday and Saturday night, but on Sunday I'm up in here praising God, my granny. You know, making sure that her wig and her big ass hat don't fall off her head. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
But then next Thursday you at a rooftop party, and next Friday you at a kickback, and then Saturday night you back at club whatever, you know what I'm saying, doing the same damn thing over and over again. You know what I'm saying? And I'm not saying that going to the club is wrong, but understand, there's some people who go to the club just to listen to music, sip a little something, might shoot some pool, might do, you know, do something just to be social and get out and not just be at home every weekend or whatever the case may be. Because some people are sociable like that. But then there's some people who get out there and be like, oh, I was working hard all week, you know what I'm saying, I'm gonna let my hair down and just get out here on this dance floor after you had 2 shots with your homies, and now she out here twerking it looser than a doggone stripper. Or a dude out here trying to put his sausage on every bun that's in the club. He don't care. Right. You know what I'm saying? And it could be a disease on her dress. She could be so nasty that she just walk past you and you smell her and be like, oh, I think I'm infected. Oh my God. So ultimately, living that type of lifestyle and then turning around, I'm gonna be completely honest with you. I believe that pastor can tell you, oh no, just come up here and repent, you know what I'm saying, kneel down at this altar, pray, Catholicism, or just do, you know, 7 Hail Marys or whatever and confess to the confession and you good.
Right.
That ain't how it works.
Right.
If you reading that scripture the way it's supposed to be read, it ain't how it works. So you need to just take a big step back. You know, like when they had the Mother Granny or Mother May I game with a you know, red light, green light, and you need to take a whole bunch of steps back and not go towards the line because you all messed up. Go all the way back so you can relearn some things that you were taught in the incorrect way. And then just stop making the same mistakes over and over again.
Right.
Going out to this club, busting it wide open, and then up in the doggone church house Sundays.
Do you believe this? Like, they've been saying this since back in forever. You know, your ancestors back in the day.
Yeah.
So you know the saying they say, why buy the cow if you can get the milk for free? Do you believe it?
Okay. With that saying, right? It's a funny saying.
Right.
Okay, don't get me wrong. Why buy the cow when you can get the milk for free? That's because there's a whole lot of females out here giving that milk away for free.
Right. So,
you know what I'm saying?
So that goes to say
so that means why do I have to go and, you know what I'm saying, why do I have to put forth all of that effort and invest in this person when I know I can get it easy?
For free, yeah, easy, right.
Or here's another analogy that, like, to be honest, I'm gonna throw some game out here, right? This is what an older gentleman would say to a younger gentleman. He'd sit down and explain it to him and say, I see how you out here moving, young man, but you're making your moves visible. Everybody can see what you're doing. Even the females that you're chasing can see what you're doing, right? So an old head will tell a young dude, he said, there was an old bull and a young bull in a pasture, and they looked down and they saw a pasture full of cows. And the young bull tapped the old bull and said, hey, let's run down there and have sex with one of those cows. Well, if you run down there to try to catch one, to have sex with one, the rest of them are gonna scatter. So the old bull says to the young bull, nah, youngster, let's walk down there and have sex with them all. That's crazy, right?
Right.
This is what our elders are out here teaching our youth. And I'm not saying all elders, okay, because I wasn't taught that. I just was in earshot and heard that lesson, and I was like, wow, that's crazy, you know?
It is.
But ultimately, it's teaching these young dudes how to play the game. So you can play the game like a female plays games with men the same way men play games with females. So I question this right here. The same way that a woman values her yoni and says, I'm not gonna give it up for 90 days, what is it that a man most values when it comes to being in a relationship?
The yoni.
No.
No, I'm just playing. Like, I'm really just
okay. I was like, damn, he ain't got no yoni. If you do, you need to.
I'm talking about, because you said with being in a relationship.
A woman values her yoni in a relationship.
Right.
What does a man value?
That's what I'm saying.
Okay.
You didn't get it?
Yeah, I got it, but, you know. Ultimately, a man values his money.
Right.
Because when it comes down to it, if you're not in a relationship or you're not married to this person and you're just starting to date this person, a man is not holding you on that pedestal, on that plateau, higher than his career, the progression of his career, his children, if he has any, or whatever the case may be, right? So he's got his money up here because he's like, I'm out here hustling, legal or illegally, at the end of the day. If you take that and say, you know what, I really like this woman, but I want to see if she's using me to get free meals for 90 days.
Right.
How about y'all make an agreement? If she don't want to sleep with you for 90 days, if that's the rule, the guideline.
Right.
Okay, if she wants to say to you.
What if she don't tell you?
Even if she don't tell you, you, as the man, you come out and say, hey, look, what's wrong with you establishing a 90-day rule? And saying, hey, you don't have to give me your goods for 90 days. I want you to grow to know who I am as a person. Let's date, let's get to know each other, and things of that nature. That way you can see if I'm the dude that you really want to be with. I might not be him. There might be some things about me that you don't like. I might have a messy house, or I might be too clean, a metrosexual. You know what I'm saying? One of those dudes that's like get his nails and toes done, once a week. I'm not saying there's nothing wrong with it. I'm just saying that some people view it a little bit differently than others, right?
Well, how do you view it?
I'll get them done. I ain't tripping, but
I'm not talking about polish, but like a pedicure and a manicure, right?
Just getting a regular pedicure and manicure, not getting colors and doing all this crazy stuff. that's called metrosexual, not the opposite of heterosexual. Heterosexualism and metrosexualism go hand in hand. That's fine. That means you just want to be clean and your appearance needs to be neat and trimmed or whatever. And we learned that from the military.
Right.
But ultimately, if he holds her to that standard and say, hey, I don't want you to get yourself up to me. I'm not trying to just rush you into the bed. I want to grow to know you the same way you growing to know me, right? But then he says, during that process also, I want to see what you bring to the table just like you want to see what I bring to the table.
Right.
So how about we go Dutch on every date that we go for the next 90 days?
Right.
Now, typically, it's supposed to be whoever asks the person out should pay for the date, right? And then there's women who will be like, hey, let's go out, but then won't foot the bill.
Right.
So if you establish that guideline at the beginning, if she runs, she wasn't worth chasing to begin with.
Right.
If she say, I'm not about to pay half on me.
You know, rejection is God's protection.
Exactly.
So, you know.
So if she looking at you like, is you crazy? No, if we dating, you paying. Okay, well, it was nice meeting you.
One thing that I had said was, you know, when I get back out here, you know, in the dating scene, the first date I'm just gonna surprise them, but like, I got the bill. Because like when you know, pretty much got your own money or doing your own thing, you know, you don't need no man to always feel like you need them to take care of you or you need them to do this and that for you.
But there's some people out there that's out here to get free meals.
But you shouldn't even be dating if you're not set up in a position to reciprocate the same thing that you want or you're expecting. So you shouldn't be out there dating. You shouldn't put yourself out there. If you don't have the money to go out here, what if he decide not to pay the bill and he just leave? You don't have no money. You just going for a free meal. Now you look dumb. So you shouldn't ever want to put yourself in a position to be out here just, you know,
stranded,
pepper chasing in the beginning,
busting
free meals or whatever it is,
washing dishes.
Like I don't want a man to feel like I need him for anything.
Getting your forearms wet.
Right. The only thing I need for him to do is what he needs to do if he deems to want to be married to me.
Just treat you like he's supposed to treat you, right?
Right.
Be a God-fearing man and selfless lover. Hey. Those are my two things. My two things is to love God, keep God first in every situation, and to be a selfless lover.
Selfless, most definitely.
And if you can accomplish those two things right there, you won't have a problem as long as your partner is reciprocating that same energy to you. Alright? Because out here in these streets, people be doing some crazy stuff. They'll accept that love that you're giving them, that selfless love. Right. Will they return it? Will that love be, reciprocated? I like that word, reciprocated.
So that's why I was saying, like, learning from lessons, right? So the fact that my first experience and what I experienced with that, saying I'm gonna wait longer, not 90 days, but a whole 8 months, right? That didn't work out for me. So that's why I said the fact that I'm blessed to get back out here to be able to start over again and do it differently. This time I will wait until I'm married. So I challenge y'all to do something different. If you out here dating and what you're doing is not working, then it means you need to try something different. If the 90-day rule isn't working, why you can't wait until you marry? If that man or that woman really wants to be in a relationship with you to where y'all are committed to one another, I don't see what the problem is. Like, why date somebody for 4 or 5 years for them not to marry you? Then if y'all break up, they might go over here and meet Becky Ann and be with them for only 5 months or 2 months, and now they ready to marry them. And they probably ain't even giving up the goods. They'll show how much they want to be with you and how they're willing to commit to you if you retrieve. So I had a friend.
She got friends. She got friends.
So one time I had a friend, and he told me that he was dating. He was dating this girl throughout college. That was 4 years. 4 years of college of dating this girl. He was in love with her, but he wanted to wait and have sex. He wanted to wait till he got married. But he felt like this was the girl that was for him and that they would get married. So when they graduated from college, the girl had been waiting on him all this time. They waited on each other. They did everything together. They was always together. They were like Bunny and Clyde on level 10. However, when they got out of college, he decided, this is who I want to be with. So he gave his virginity to this female. And when he gave his virginity to this female, a week later, she cheated on him. So, say, what if he would have just
Sex
waited?
was trash?
I thought about that. But this is my thing. I feel like this. So if I wait until I get married, or anybody else, when you just take sex from the whole equation and just focus on everything else, intimacy on different levels, right? And you build a foundation with somebody. That's just like if you get your dream home. If this house that you really want, and the house might not have every single thing in the house that you want, but it's certain things that you can tweak. That's just like it might not have the faucet you like. That faucet might be brass, but you might want to go with stainless steel or something. You know, appliances or whatever it is. You know, that's an easy fix compared to if you gotta take all the flooring out, but the house is so expensive that you can't necessarily do that. But when it's little small things that you can tweak and change, right? The house needs an extra room, and it's gonna cost so much to build an extra room. That's not something that you want to kind of like give up, space and that type of thing. So what I'm saying is, when you building a relationship, to me, it's like building a house. It's like a foundation. It's like it needs structure. It needs all these things to make it work. So if you decide to marry this person, right, and they must have great qualities. So they have everything that you're looking for in a person. A, B, and C, and some, right? Y'all haven't had sex, so the only thing you're missing is sex, right? So you have sex with this individual, and the sex is not all that. I feel like that y'all should be able to communicate the things that's lacking. Y'all should be able to tell, hey, I need you to scoot over a little more, scoot down some more, open up a little bit, talk to me when I'm doing things right, let me, whatever it is. Y'all should be able to work those things out. You are married to your best friend. Should be.
So that means that you should be able to tell her when her breath stank when she wake up in the morning, and she not slap you in the face.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? If y'all best friends, you should be able to accept whatever criticism your partner gives you in all honesty and out of love, because you know it's coming from a place of love. Does that make sense? So you're talking about a house, right? Mm-hmm. I wouldn't necessarily compare sex to a faucet. I think it's like maybe a fireplace or something.
I said a relationship.
No, I'm just messing with you. Yeah.
Too soon to call it love, but I know you feel it too. No need to use labels. We know what this is.
Yeah.
Loving when I want it. Ain't gotta tell you what I want it. And that's why I got a crush.
Yeah.
You give me a rush.
Does this make a lot of sense in the sense of talking? Incense I'm sparking, that knob chomper, theory barking, far from